Hi guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension, and we are starting our second day of the 78 Days of Tarot, and the next card we're doing is the Magician. Let's see if that's gonna... There we go. Alright, so I wanted to start off with the numerology surrounding the Magician, which is number 1. We just did the Fool, which was either 0 or in some decks considered 22. So, with it being number 1, the energetic frequency of the number 1 in numerology could be considered the independent pioneer. Number 1 is ruled by the sun, which can easily display its intense masculine power right off of the bat. All yellow, definitely. In the background, which that's like the only one that I see that's kind of like that. Other than in this card, you can see the sun coming out from the horizon, so to speak. This confident and independent energy possesses a sort of introverted version of universal power, a natural force where all manifestation begins its journey. The number 1 reflects new beginnings, coupled with a strong energy of originality that initiates and then creates with innate talents. Visual interpretation of the number 1. The shape of the number 1 can actually show us the meaning of the vibration held within. The 1 stands upright with a very confident way of doing so. As an individual, this visual representation of the number 1 displays the characteristics of leadership that the number 1 energy holds, such as independence, assertiveness, strength, stability, ambition to stand alone. Their number 1 emanates an energy of insight and new beginnings. The number 1 holds a frequency and energetic vibration of confidence, independence, initiation, and aggressive idealism. It encompasses the inner knowing of the soul that resides within, outside of the ego, that we can harness and utilize in this universal existence. It possesses, if I can speak right, it possesses, I can't even say it right, sorry. I'm still kind of sick, so I need a little bit of leeway there, okay? The frequency and energetic vibration of embracing inner beliefs, because that is where creation always begins. Now, the other cards in the tarot that are associated with the number 1 are the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, and all of the aces and all of the 10s of every suit, which also indicates all 4 elements. So, like I said, I got that information off of WeMystic.com. So what I wanted to do was start off by reading a couple of different meanings out of a couple of different books, or they could be the same meanings, we'll see. Now, the one I'm reading right now is the meaning for the Magician in the Mermaid Tarot, which is by Lisa Robertson and Julie Dillon, pardon me. So, here is the Magician in this one, which I really, really like. You know what? Let me hold it up while I read it for you, okay? All right, there we go. Am I looking at the wrong side? Yes. Sorry. All right, let me pull it back a little bit. There we go. The currents swirl in answer to the sea witch's magic, and the glow of the fire pearl becomes stronger and brighter. Her magical tools of choice are laid out on her altar. Oh, was that better right there? No, maybe right there. Okay. And she knows that she has options. For the time being, she channels the power of the wand into the fire pearl. Her face a picture of focus and concentration. She keeps her head She keeps her hands and mind steady so as to not break the link between her tools and her magic. Silent incarnations are chanted in her head as she lets go of what she thinks she knows to allow a new sense of knowing into her thoughts. Even the fish dance and swim to the energy of her magic, knowing that they too shall benefit from her actions. This is more, I love that, it's beautiful. This is more at your disposal right now than you actually need, which, to be honest, could be causing you a small amount of anxiety. The good news is that you don't have to worry about what tool or piece of advice that you use, as it will bring you a result either way. The Magician says, make the decision. What magical tool will you use? Focus your energy on it, and it alone, and then allow its wisdom and guidance to plot your next step. Part of unlocking your inner magic is making a decision and allowing it to be the right one. That's the upright meaning of it. And I'm not even going to go into the reversed, because I don't personally, at this stage, I'm not saying I never will, but at this stage, because I am very much a beginner, I'm not reading in the reversed. Now, the second one that I wanted to read out of, which is one of my favorites, is the Everyday Witch. Okay? And this one is Deborah Blake and art by Elizabeth Alba. Let me show you the card. Look at that. Okay. Well, I suppose I should leave it up. On an altar are 4 silver tools: athame, wand, chalice, and pentacle coin. They glow with a golden light. Here, let me set this down. I need to get my glasses, actually. All right, that's a little bit better, I think. Where was I? A black cat is, let me find it again. A black cat is perched on one corner, sitting upright and bass-like, knowing whatever it is that cats know. Behind the altar table stands an androgynous figure with dark shoulder-length hair, held back by a silver circlet with a crescent moon in the middle. The figure wears rich and ornate flowing robes. A matching golden glow surrounds the figure and is strongest at their head, heart, and hands. Their arms are raised into the air, and swirls of power flow into the hands. Who is this mysterious figure, and what does he or she represent? Magic, of course. Not the kind of magic that a stage magician does, all sleight of hand and tricks. No, the magician holds true magic within, the ability to do what is necessary to be wise, to be kind, and to find success at the end of every endeavor. The magician represents our own capacity to balance all the tools of the 4 suits: cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. And use them to create positive change in the world. Who wouldn't want that kind of magic? These are really strong, so it's hard for me to see because I only need reading glasses. So that's beautiful. All things to consider, it says. The Magician card is powerful and positive. If your question going into the reading was anything like, can I do this or will I succeed, then the Magician appearing will almost certainly mean that the answer is a resounding, you bet you can. But keep in mind that the card is about personal power and individual ability. Whatever you are dealing with, you may have to rely on yourself to triumph in the end, but don't worry. You already have all the tools that you need to succeed. However, if the Magician is in a positive, in a position in the reading that indicates it represents someone other than you, it might be suggesting a strong ally whom you can depend on to work a little magic on your behalf. Who can't use that? And you know, I did a unboxing video for this, which you'll see up in one of the corners anyways. I love that each one of these has a notes where you can take notes after each one of the card meanings. So you can put your own thoughts and all that. I love that. Definitely a good guidebook. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about tarot and astrology. The Magician is associated with the planet Mercury. In the tarot, Mercury comes to life in the form of the Magician, a master of space, time, and cosmic energy. He's proof that our perception of the world changes the world, and that the mind truly is more powerful than matter. The Magician himself is a channel for transformation and change. He conducts cosmic energy through his body, and he uses that power to manifest his own reality. In most depictions of the card, he holds one arm above his head like a lightning rod. His stance is a reminder of the Hermetic maxim, as above, so below. That's the same principle that is often used to explain why astrology and tarot are such effective tools. They both tap into powers greater than ourselves and use the world of ideas to help us understand the world of matter. In other words, the Magician shows us that the outer world of cause and effect and the inner world of personal experience aren't so far apart. We are each a microcosm of the macrocosm universe, or cosmic universe. In Rome, the archetypal magician was known as Mercury. In Greece, he was called Hermes. He was depicted wearing winged boots and a winged helmet, and he was the god of speed, communication, salesmen, orators, tricksters, and thieves. Today, he still serves as an emissary between the realm of ideas and the world of physical existence. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, so it has the shortest orbit, 88 days. The planet's speed and agility mark it as the quick-thinking, versatile ruler of short trips, neighborhood errands, everyday commerce, and the workday commutes. In astrology, Mercury rules messages and communication. It represents logic, reason, wit, writing, and speech. It describes early schooling and primary education, as well as our childhood peers, neighbors, siblings, and cousins, from whom we learn much of our communication methods and style. Mercury is a multitasker. It rules two signs, Gemini, which is associated with the Lover's card, and Virgo, which is associated with the Hermit. Mercury also rules the third house of communication and the sixth house of work and service to others. Mercury rules our biological message system too. Biological message system too. I'm not sure what I said. It regulates the brain, the central nervous system, and the sense organs. The Magician, like Mercury, corresponds to the element of air. Now, cosmic connection, the trickster planet, Mercury retrograde. Mercury, like the Magician, was also the trickster god. And to this day, 3 or 4 times a year, Mercury still plays a trick on our senses. As Earth passes Mercury in an orbit around the sun, the small messenger planet seems to travel backward through the stars. It's an optical illusion, just as a car you pass on the highway seems to go backwards as you pull ahead of it. When Mercury is retrograde, double check details, cross your T's, and dot your I's, because the trickster energy can wreak havoc with communications. Check and recheck your work, back up important files, Other planets go retrograde too, but none seem to have the same upsetting effect on our daily lives. That's because Mercury rules the stuff of everyday life. Messages, errands, appointments, neighborhood jaunts, and family connections. Retrogrades and tarot reversals. In many ways, retrograde planets are like reversals in a tarot reading. Cards that fall upside down don't reverse the meaning of a card. Instead, they put a new spin on a situation, call attention to details that you might otherwise overlook, and force you to change your perspective. When a planet is in retrograde motion at one's birth, its energy is turned inward and must be developed from an inner awareness before it can fully express externally. Well, that's very interesting. So if you draw the Magician in an upside down or reverse, which I don't read reverses, but if it's during like a retrograde, Mercury retrograde, maybe it means the original meaning, but, you know, with a spin. Or, you know, just loves playing tricks on us, right? Okay, so I already showed you. This is the universal weight Magician. This is the Gilded Tarot. Let me back it up a little bit. It just does not want to focus. There we go. Okay. This is the Shadowscapes. Let me get behind it because it doesn't. There we go. So beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful. This is the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. And it's by John Holland, the Magician. I like that one. This one is the Tarot of the Hidden Realms. Oops. Here, let me do there we go. Is it focusing? There. I mean, it's just beautiful. I love it's the Hidden Realms. They're, it's fairy or fae, however you want to say it. This one is the Archangel, or I'm sorry, the Angel Tarot cards by Radley Valentine. I love that one. And it says the Magician is Archangel Raziel. And it says, you are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them. Life is magical. Ooh, I like it. Okay, and then we have, which I already showed you. This is the one from the Everyday Witches. Yeah, oh, here. There we go. Once I cover up my mug, it seems to focus. Yeah. This one was the mermaid one. I love this one. I love that it's a female. And this is the Good Tarot. This is by Colette Baron Reid. Looks like Santa Claus to me. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so just to touch base, this is, again, Tarot Wisdom, Rachel Pollack, Spiritual Teachings and Deeper Meanings. I highly suggest this book because there's a lot more that I'm not even touching on that's in here. It would just be an entirely too long of a video, but I highly recommend it. I'm just going to read a few things here. The Magician, just as with the Fool, the Magician has undergone a transformation over the centuries since the earliest tarot decks. The most popular images today of this card show him as a serene, powerful, with an infinity sign over his head and pointing his magic wand up towards the heavens which I'm going to go back to the main Rider-Waite. I think this is like the basis. You know, she talks about other ones too, like the Marseille and the Thoth, but I'm not even on that journey yet. I will eventually, but I'm not at that point, so I'm not even touching on those. Where was I? The most popular images today of this card show him as serene, powerful, with an infinity sign over his head and pointing his magic wand up towards the heavens, as if to draw down divine energy. And on his table lie the 4 emblems of the Tarot Minor Arcana, as if he is the master of the physical world. He is indeed a magus, as Levi called him and as Aleister Crowley titled the card. Like I said, we're not going into the Thoth. And then, getting back to, I'm just going to say, Grand Orient, which was a weight-based deck. The meaning is the juggler, skill, subtlety. On the evil side, trickery, also occult practice. On the weight, from 1910, says the magician is skill, diplomacy, subtlety, snares of enemies. The inquirer, if male, reversed, physician, magus, disgrace. So, I'm just going to tell you what my intuition tells me when I see this card. Or this card. Or, let me just do a fan out here. There. You know, here's just some of them. This one. What I think of with the magician is, and like I said before, it really depends on the nature of the spread. It depends on the nature of the question and its placement and its surrounding cards. Obviously, if you read in reverse, which I don't at this point, but I would say that definitely what it's telling me is that the magician wields anything that he needs. He has all of the elements at his disposal. So if you're dealing with an issue and you need to, it's saying look inside of yourself, because you have everything that you need in order to deal with this issue. Unless, of course, it's retrograde. He can be a trickster, okay? But I would say in general, because I tend to look more on the positive side of things, I just think now is the time for it. That's my own personal belief. Anybody, you know, I know that there's yin yang and balance and light and dark and all that, but I think that the world is inherently dark right now, for the most part, or it has been, and that we need to come together and bring the scales back into balance rather than everybody needs to be balanced. But that's my own personal, you know, I think that there's always, and I've heard other people say, you know, it's getting irritating when people say, you know, just try to be positive. That upsets me. That really upsets me. You know, shut up with your positivity. No. You can choose to wallow in what you're dealing with, or you can choose to look at the situation, try to separate yourself a little bit, find out what kind of faculties that you have, you know, and how you deal with something. That's to me, that defines true character. Looking above, look at the situation, see what you can be grateful for rather than what knocks you down, and then go from there. Deal with it, you know. I'm not saying don't feel your emotions. Yes, feel your emotions, but there's a time for everything. Deal with that, and then, you know, the magician, look inside of yourself. You have everything that you need in order to deal with whatever you're dealing with. You have all the power. It makes me think of I got the power. So anyways, So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget about the little, I keep on looking at the wrong side, I'm sorry. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to be notified of future videos. And always, I'm sending you guys love and light. Thank you.